Today, we're going to learn how to make deviled eggs. Start by putting a saucepan with some water in it to boil on the stove. You'll notice I covered the pot, and now that it's boiling, we take the lid off and we put the eggs in one at a time, very carefully lowering them down. You'll notice I'm using brown eggs. You can use white eggs. Only difference between brown eggs and white eggs is that brown eggs, believe it or not, are from brown chickens, and white eggs are from white chickens. A lot of people don't know that. And then put the lid back on and let it boil for 16 minutes. Okay, it's been exactly 16 minutes, and so I'm going to carefully, with a pot holder, take this over to the sink, making sure I turn off the stove before I leave. Okay, and here I am at the sink. I'm going to put the pot in the sink, take the lid off, and pour out the boiling water. And then add cold water to it. I'm going to rinse that out. I'm going to do that 3 times, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, and then do it 3 times again. So 2. And 3 times. And now I'm going to fill it up and let it sit for about 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, it's been about 1 minute, and I'm going to turn this out and do it one more time. Replace the water 3 times. 1, 2, and 3, and then I'll fill it up with water and let it sit for another 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, it has now been another minute, and so I'm going to pour out the water. And if I did this correctly, everything should be cool enough for me to touch, which it is. And then I'm going to take all the water out. I'm going to kind of shake this, cracking the eggs. Not too rough because I don't want to break the whites. And then I'm going to take these apart. The reason I used brown eggs today is because I really want you to see me separating it out. And there's this membrane. I want to get under the membrane and pull that off with the shell. And then I'm going to rinse off any little egg shells and put it in a bowl off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of them, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've got all the eggs peeled, and I've let them cool down to room temperature, or you can stick them in the refrigerator for a while. You can stick them in the refrigerator for up to a day, and it'll still be fine. So they're cooled down to room temperature, and then what I do is I take one of the eggs, and I cut it in half the long way. Notice I'm holding it on the outside, so I finger around the knife. And it's okay if that yolk is not centered. And then what you're going to do is take a spoon and take the yolk out and just kind of coax it out. You don't really want to scoop it out, just want to coax it out. Sort of peel it out, if you will. And if it breaks a little bit on the white, that's okay. And then I'm going to do the same over here and just drop it out. And if there's a little bit of yolk left, that's okay. I'm just going to put them on a little plate over here that I'm going to serve these on. Then I'm going to do that for the rest of these. Cut these in half. And then sort of coax it out of there. That one came out a little easier. Get most of it out. And the same over here. And then I'll do it to the last egg. Of course, you can double or triple this recipe if you want. And there we go. I've got all 6 yolks out and into the little bowl. And then I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. Let me go grab those real quick. The first ingredient we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So there's 1 tablespoon. And this doesn't have to be super precise. And there's 2 tablespoons. And then the next ingredient we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of mustard. And notice I'm using the spoon to get that out. And then a dash of salt. Just a little sprinkle of salt there. And then we mix this together, and you kind of have to mush it down to break apart those yolks. We mix this together. And you can make this as smooth as you want by squishing it more. And if you don't like mayonnaise as much, you still need some, but if you don't like mayonnaise as much, then put a little less. But be careful, don't put too much mustard because it'll be way too tangy. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's gonna do. So what I'm going to do now is, here's my eggs, and then I'm going to take a little spoon of this mixture, and I'm going to use 1 spoon to scoop it from the other spoon. And filling them up so they're just a little higher than halfway. So they peek out the top just a little bit. That one might be peeking out too much. We'll see if we have to steal some from it. And 1 more. And it looks like I've got it portioned out pretty good. Now this could be good enough, or you can add what I call toppings to it. Things you could add would be maybe poppy seeds, or cumin, or chili pepper, or paprika, or some of that bagel seasoning, or all sorts of different things. Paprika, cumin, anything that's, nice little flavor, but mostly it's to get it to have a nice look to it. So let me sprinkle some. I'm going to make 6 different ones. So I'll be right back with them all pretty and sprinkled. One with paprika. There's one with chili powder. And there's some cumin on that one. And sesame's on that one. And my favorite, right in the middle, the bagel seasoning. I'm leaving the last one plain so you can see what that looks like too. Well, that's it. You don't have to make all these flavors. You don't even have to put any toppings on them at all. But enjoy. Have a great day.